right, here is our lecture on lab safety. So you want to go to Google Classroom. It'll tell you what pages in your notebook to take your notes and take your notes from this video. All right, so essential question. What are we trying to answer? You're going to write this down in your notebook because at the end you're going to answer this question in your notes. So the essential question is, how can I be safe during a lab? Okay. All right, so some general safety rules. The first one is listen to or read instructions before beginning a lab. Ask questions. So if there's anything you don't understand, don't just start your lab. Go ahead and ask questions to me or your partners or lab partners around you. And if it still doesn't make sense, then definitely ask me. You should always wear safety goggles, or you can wear actual eyeglasses in every lab. If you have contact lenses, those do not count. Contact lenses, you still have to wear the safety goggles. But if you have physical eyeglasses, you can use those in place of safety goggles. You should notify your teacher if any spills or accidents occur. So accidents could be that you burned yourself. An accident could be that you broke some glassware. Any spills, please tell me and I will help clean them up. Some of them have to be cleaned up in a certain way. And then accidents, I will make sure that you get the first aid that you need. You should always wash your hands with soap and water after a lab before you leave here. So we will always start cleaning up about 10 minutes before the end of class. Do not touch your face during a lab. You will be working with chemicals. If they are dangerous to your skin, of course, you'll have gloves on, but make sure you're not touching your face. Your face knows where you can ingest it. It can get in your eyes. Sometimes they don't irritate your skin, but they could irritate your eyes. So make sure you're not touching your face during lab, which also means no putting on makeup during a lab. You should always tie back any long hair. I do have rubber bands, but they're actual rubber bands. You can also bring your own, but you want to tie back your long hair so you don't get chemicals in your hair and also you don't catch them on fire. You should always roll up loose sleeves like on a sweatshirt. If you can actually remove your sweatshirt and still be in dress code, you should do that. You should wear closed-toed shoes, which means your toes should be covered, so no sandals. And then remove any jewelry that is dangling, okay? You should know the location of the safety equipment. If you were absent for this lecture, definitely come and ask me so you know where the safety equipment is. You should always keep your lab area clean. You don't want to take home any of the chemicals. If we're using a Bunsen burner or have fire, you don't want to set anything on fire. So make sure you're always at a clean lab table. You should never eat during a lab. If you eat during a lab, you run the risk of actually ingesting the chemical, okay? So we will not be eating or drinking during a lab. And then clean up your lab area before leaving class. That's why we stop about 10 minutes before if we're doing a lab to go ahead and clean up the lab area, put everything away, and then wash our hands. Never horse around or play practical jokes in the laboratory. We will be using actual real chemicals. So if this is done, then you will watch videos of the lab. Chipped or cracked glassware should never be used. So when you get your supplies, please make sure to check all of your glassware. If it is chipped or cracked, please show it to the teacher and I will replace it. When pouring liquids, your in-place container on table. Just like your mom used to tell you, when you poured something into a glass, put the glass on the table. Do not hold the glass. You should never place hot glassware in cool water. It will shatter, okay? I will never have this in the instructions. If you have hot glassware and needs to go in cool water, it should cool first, then it can go in cool water. You should never mix chemicals unless I tell you to. You do not know enough chemistry to know what should be mixed and what shouldn't. If you need to smell the odor of a chemical, we'll do this a few times. You waft the fumes towards your nose with one hand, which means you don't stick your nose into it and inhale. You just kind of bring the air towards you and the odor towards your nose. You should always follow instructions of your teacher when disposing of all chemicals. So there will be times, most of the stuff we're going to use here, I use it in a form that it can just be dumped down the sink, but there will be times where you will need to put it in a special disposal container. Use tongs to handle hot objects. These are metal tongs. They hold our beakers and our test tubes. Do not ever touch hot glassware. It looks just like cold glassware, so do not assume that it is cold unless you know for sure. So make sure you don't do that or you will burn your skin. You should never reach across an open flame or burner. You should not do this because you will get burned. And then you should never put flammable materials near an open flame. Things like alcohol and other flammable materials we'll have in here. I will teach you how to know if it's flammable. Never put those towards an open flame. All right, a couple of first aids. First one, if you get burned, immediately, first of all, tell your teacher, and then we will flush it with cold water until the burning sensation has stopped, and you will go to the nurse. If you get something in your eyes, you will first tell your teacher, then you will flush the eyes immediately with plenty of water for several minutes. If a foreign object is lodged in the eye, do not allow the eye to be rubbed. We do have an eye wash station. It looks like this. That is where I will put you. I will hold your eyes open and we will flush your eyes. If you have contact lenses, I will remove them. So it's why it's very, very important. If you have contact lenses, you wear goggles. I will remove those contact lenses if you get something in your eye because stuff can get stuck behind there. Okay. All right. So that is our lab safety notes. Go ahead in your notes, write a 3 to 5 sentence summary answering that essential question, how can I be safe in a lab? And that should be done. You can get them stamped by me so that you can take your quiz.